Hi, it's Future from Sewmate. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. I'll be using a straight ruler, a curved ruler, a marker, a notcher, a scissors, a tape measure, and you also need the block of which the sleeve is supposed to be made for, both the back and front, okay? First thing you need to do is to measure your armholes, both the front and back. So just be sure not to include your seam allowances in the measurement. For example, with my block here, I've got seam allowances added already to my armholes. So I'll take my measurement along the seam line here. It's better to mark it like I've done with mine already. I know that this is just the shoulder allowance, this is the side seam allowance, and this one is the armhole seam allowance. So I'll just measure from the junction here along my markings here until I get to the junction with the shoulder here. Get your tape measure and just walk it through your seam allowances like what I'm doing here, just like this. Okay, until you get to the shoulder junction here, and just mark exactly what the point is, and do the same with your back. You will need to take a few measurements. That's your sleeve length from your shoulder to your wrist, and then your bicep measurement. Just measure around the top of your arm and add 5 centimeters each so that you can be able to move your arm up and down. You will have measured your front armhole measurement and your back armhole measurement like I shown you before. Then do a few calculations, front armhole plus back armhole, and divide that amount by 2. Okay, so let's get started. Get a pattern paper that's wider than your bicep measurement. You can fold it in half and open it so that at least you can have a clear straight line in the middle of the paper. To begin drafting our sleeve, we need to draw a vertical line along the crease that we've made before. Just follow that crease line. Now go 20 centimeters down from the top of your line and put a mark. Square a line across both sides of the line. Now this is going to be our bicep line. On the bicep line, we have to put in our bicep measurement plus 5 centimeter ease. Mine is 40 centimeters, so I'm going to divide that by 2 to get 20 centimeters on each side of the vertical line. 20 centimeters, 20 centimeters. We did a little calculation before for our front armhole plus back armhole divided by 2. Mine is 22.75. Get that measurement. Now come to this point here we just made on the bicep line and put your 22.75 there. Pivot the ruler towards the vertical line we've made before, and then just mark the point where they meet here like this. Square a line across the top like this. So this is going to be our sleeve head. From there, we're going to connect lines from this point to the new point we marked here. Do the same on the other side. Now measure this line and mark halfway. Do the same on the other side. Measure and mark halfway. Now we're going to label back and front of our sleeve so that we don't get confused. From the sleeve head, we're going to measure down for our sleeve length. So mine is 52 centimeters. I'm just gonna put 52 centimeters. Square a line across for both sides. Label the line wrist. or hem. Now measure from the bicep line to the wrist line here, mark halfway and go 2.5 centimeters above that point, put a mark and square a line across. We're going to label this line our elbow line. Now this line in the middle, we're going to label it our grain line. On the bicep line, measure from this point to the grain line. Whatever you get, subtract 5 centimeters from it and transfer it to the wrist line. So mine is 20 centimeters here from this point to this point. So I'm going to put 15 centimeters on each side of my grain line here along the wrist line. 15, 15. Put a mark. Now connect this point on the bicep line to this point on the wrist line with a straight line. Now we're going to shape our sleeve head. Coming back to the back side of the sleeve, we're going to come onto our halfway point here and go up by 1 centimeter. Square a little line across. Coming back to this point here on the sleeve head, we're going to mark 1.5 centimeters on each side of the grain line. 1.5, 1.5. So when we're shaping the sleeve head, we have to make sure that for these 2 points here, we have to keep the sleeve head fairly straight. So now just get your curved ruler and draw in your sleeve head like what I'm doing here now. Extend it a little bit further. Turn your ruler over and draw in your line. Do the same with the other side too. Extend the line a little bit further. Turn over your ruler. And just draw in your curve. Next, we're going to mark in our notches so that we know which one is the front and back when we are sewing the sleeve onto the bodice. We're going to use an industry standard of 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters. So I'm going to put my 7.5 centimeters from this point here and then just walk my tape measure through the armhole like that until I get to the top of it. So that's my 7.5 centimeters. Since this is the back, we have to put 2 notches. So you go 1 centimeter up from this point that we just marked and put another notch there. We do the same with the front as well. So starting with 7.5 centimeters, we walk our tape over like that. Just there. Put a notch. Do the same with your front and back bodice patterns so that we don't forget. So for the back, we're going to go 7 centimeters first. And then we go 1 centimeter up, we put another notch. Since we've got seam allowances marked there already, we're just going to square these notches onto the edge of the pattern paper and we put a notch there. Then we go to the front, do the same, measure 7 centimeters from the junction there. This is an industry standard measurement. Square it to the edge of the pattern paper. Now just get my notcher and put a notch. And now we're going to put in our seam allowances. I prefer to put 1 centimeter seam allowances on the sleeve head there, and 1.5 centimeter seam allowances on the side seams, and 2 centimeters on the hem. Okay, now we're finished with the seam allowances, so we're going to have to transfer our notches to the edge of the pattern. Okay, just square a line across and transfer the notch just like that. Do the same on the other side too. Now we're going to label our block. So this is our sleeve block, and I'll put my initials since it's my personal one. Now we're going to cut around the block. And I'll just put on my notches. So that's it. That's our sleeve finished there. Thank you.